Have you ever noticed your legs feeling heavier than they used to, even though you're doing everything right? You're eating healthy, staying active, maybe walking each day or following doctor's orders. But still, stairs seem steeper. Getting up from a chair takes more effort, and your legs feel tight, tired, maybe even swollen by evening. You tell yourself it's just age. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's something quietly working against your legs, something you trust, even crave? Now take a moment. Think about the fruit you've been reaching for. A handful of grapes while watching TV. A banana with breakfast. That sweet slice of mango you love in the summer. These seem like smart choices, right? But here's the truth no one's talking about. Some fruits, though natural and delicious, may be silently draining your leg strength. Not because they're bad for everyone, but because your body after 60 isn't processing them the same way it used to. See, as we age, things shift. Your kidneys don't filter as efficiently. Blood sugar spikes hit harder and take longer to recover from. Your circulation slows down, and tiny things like how your body handles the sugar in fruit can make a huge difference in how your legs feel, how steady you are, and how long you stay independent. That deep ache in your calves, the swelling in your ankles after dinner, the tightness in your knees after just a short walk, those might not be random. They might be signs, clues that something seemingly healthy isn't working for you anymore. And here's the surprising part. It's not your fault. You've been told your whole life that fruit is always good for you. Doctors, magazines, even those old food pyramid posters. But they never told you what happens when you're over 60 or 70 or beyond. So right now, I want you to pause for a second, take a breath, and ask yourself honestly, have I ever felt worse after eating something that should have made me feel better? If you're nodding, if you've ever thought, this doesn't make sense, why am I still struggling? You're not alone. Thousands of older adults are silently dealing with the same mystery. But today, that ends. Because the truth is, some fruits are designed by nature to energize a 25-year-old, not support a 70-year-old body. And when we don't adjust with age, we suffer quietly, thinking it's just part of getting older. It's not. And the good news? You can take back control. You can make small, gentle changes that support stronger legs, better balance, and a lighter, more confident stride, starting with your fruit bowl. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 fruits that seniors over 60 should almost never eat, especially if you care about leg strength, mobility, or independence. And more importantly, I'll show you safe, healing alternatives that taste just as good without the side effects. Some of these may surprise you. In fact, fruit number 4, most people eat it thinking it's hydrating, when it may actually be robbing their legs of circulation and energy. So stay with me. You're about to uncover the silent truth behind some of your favorite fruits and what to eat instead to feel stronger, steadier, and more in control. This might be the missing piece no one ever told you about. And it starts now. Why aging bodies react differently to fruits. Let's sit with this for a moment. What if your body today isn't just older? It's different, not broken, not weak, just changed. And because of that, the foods that once gave you energy, comfort, and strength now respond to you in a whole new way. You see, aging doesn't just show up in wrinkles or gray hair. It happens inside, quietly, gradually, but meaningfully. After 60, after 70, your body becomes more sensitive. The systems that used to process sugar, filter toxins, balance potassium, and regulate digestion, they're still working, just a little slower, a little less forgiving. That's why something as innocent as a piece of fruit, yes, even the healthy kind, can now trigger reactions you never expected. That swelling in your ankles after dinner, that heaviness in your legs halfway through the day, that stiffness in your knees when you get up from your favorite chair. It's easy to blame aging, but sometimes it's not just age. It's what you're feeding your body without knowing what it's really doing on the inside. Let's make something clear right now. Fruit is not bad, but your 70-year-old body is not your 30-year-old body. And that changes everything. Here's the truth most people never explain. Fruit, in the right context, can heal. But like any powerful tool, it depends on the dose, just the timing, and how it interacts with your body. Especially a body that's been through 7, 8, or 9 decades of living. Think of food like medicine. A little can help. Too much or the wrong kind at the wrong time, and it creates side effects you never expected. Let's take a deeper look into what's really happening under the surface. As we age, the kidneys naturally lose efficiency. They can't filter out potassium or certain plant toxins as easily. which means that fruits high in potassium like bananas or mango may quietly overload your system, increasing the risk of irregular heartbeats, water retention, or even fatigue that won't go away. The liver also becomes more delicate with age. When you eat fruits high in fructose, such as grapes or watermelon, your liver has to convert that sugar into energy or store it as fat. But if it gets overwhelmed, that sugar turns into uric acid, which builds up in your joints and causes pain, especially in your legs, feet, or toes. That's where conditions like gout can start, from something as innocent as a bowl of grapes. Now, let's talk about insulin. As we grow older, many of us develop some degree of insulin resistance. That means your body doesn't handle sugar as smoothly, causing your blood sugar to rise sharply, then crash. The result? Fatigue, brain fog, muscle weakness, and especially weak, aching legs. You might feel that sudden drop in energy after a fruit snack, or notice you're more tired than usual after lunch, even when you didn't eat much. That's not your imagination. It's your body struggling to process fruit sugars the way it used to. And it doesn't stop there. Many common fruits are also acidic, like oranges, pineapples, or green apples. Over time, those acids can irritate sensitive joints, worsen acid reflux, or even interfere with certain medications. The enzymes in fruits like papaya or pineapple can interact with blood thinners or pressure meds, making them more or less effective, often without warning. The bottom line is this: your body is no longer a tank, it's a fine-tuned machine, and every bite, every choice matters more now than ever before. But don't let that scare you. Let it empower you. Because once you understand how your body works now, you can finally eat in a way that supports your energy, your circulation, your strength, and your freedom. You can choose fruits that work with you, not against you. Fruits that soothe, not inflame. That fuel, not crash. That help your legs feel lighter, your steps more stable, and your evenings more comfortable. And that journey starts here. Now that you know the why, let's look at the what. Let's walk through the 7 most problematic fruits for seniors and discover which ones you may need to rethink, starting today. Yay! The 7 most dangerous fruits for seniors over 60. The T. Now that we understand how our aging bodies react to sugar, acid, and certain nutrients differently than they used to, it's time to look at the 7 fruits that could be silently working against your strength, mobility, and daily comfort. Let's start with the first. Fruit 1. Pineapple, the silent trigger of inflammation. Let's start with a fruit many seniors trust. You may have been told pineapple helps with digestion. Maybe you add it to your smoothies or enjoy it fresh to ease your joints. On the surface, it feels refreshing, even healing. But for aging bodies, it can quietly do the opposite. That soreness in your knees after walking, that burning feeling in your hips after dinner, that strange heaviness in your legs by late afternoon. It may not just be arthritis or just getting older. It could be the pineapple. Here's why. Pineapple is high in natural sugars. That sugar hits your bloodstream quickly, causing blood sugar to rise, then crash. Over time, this adds stress to your joints, your nerves, and especially your circulation. Worse, it's also highly acidic. If you already deal with arthritis or stiffness, those acids can act like fuel on a fire, irritating the sensitive tissue around your knees, hips, and ankles. Then there's bromelain, the enzyme found in pineapple. While it's often praised for its anti-inflammatory properties, it can interact with common medications, especially blood thinners. In some cases, it makes those drugs more potent than intended, increasing your risk of bruising, dizziness, or leg weakness. Just ask John. He's 72. He started adding pineapple to his morning smoothie, thinking it would help ease his arthritis. At first, it tasted great, but within a few weeks, he began feeling lightheaded after walking. Then came leg stiffness that made it hard to climb stairs. A visit to his doctor revealed something unexpected. The pineapple was intensifying his blood thinners effects, making his symptoms worse, not better. If any of that sounds familiar to you, it might be time to rethink the pineapple. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up sweet or tropical flavors. Try Asian pears instead. They're crisp, hydrating, and much gentler on the kidneys. Or go for dragon fruit. It offers that same exotic touch, but without the sugar-acid combo that makes pineapple risky. And both pair beautifully with yogurt or a sprinkle of cinnamon for a low-inflammatory snack. Because if pineapple, the fruit known for healing, can cause this much harm, what about the one that's supposed to support your muscles? Fruit 2. Bananas. The muscle imposter. Let's talk about bananas. For years, they've been marketed as the go-to fruit for strength and energy. Soft, easy to digest, packed with potassium. You might have one with breakfast or as a quick pick-me-up in the afternoon. It feels safe, but what if it's secretly weighing your legs down? As we get older, our kidneys slow down. That means they don't filter out excess potassium as efficiently. And bananas, they're packed with it. Too much potassium, even from natural sources, can build up in the bloodstream and create a ripple effect. Muscle fatigue, irregular heart rhythms, swelling in the lower limbs, and it gets worse. Bananas are also high in fast-burning carbohydrates. That means your blood sugar rises fast, then falls hard. Over time, this roller coaster effect can lead to insulin resistance, which starves your legs of the steady energy and circulation they need to stay strong and mobile. Let's look at Robert's story. He's 75. He ate 2 bananas every single day, one with breakfast, one in the afternoon. He thought he was doing the right thing, but then he began to notice swelling in his ankles, soreness in his calves, and a heavy dragging sensation in his legs after lunch. His doctor finally traced it back to excess potassium and rapid sugar spikes, all coming from those harmless bananas. Does any of this sound familiar? You don't have to give up natural sweetness, just choose it differently. Instead of bananas, try half a baked sweet potato. It gives you a steady release of energy, plenty of fiber, and none of the sugar crash. Or mix a handful of berries with plain Greek yogurt. It's kind to your blood sugar, supports circulation, and helps you stay energized without overloading your kidneys. If you really love bananas, that's okay. Just treat them with care. Stick to half at a time and always pair it with a protein or healthy fat like nut butter or a boiled egg. That way, your body processes it more slowly, giving your legs the chance to feel supported, not stressed. Because if bananas, long believed to be a superfruit, are silently wearing down your circulation, what could be hiding inside a few tiny grapes? Let's keep going. What comes next may shock you even more. Bop. Fruit 3. Grapes, tiny fruit, big inflammatory impact. Now let's talk about a fruit that's so easy to love, and even easier to overeat. You might keep them in your fridge, grab a handful while watching TV, or toss them into a salad for that perfect pop of sweetness. Grapes feel light, harmless, even healthy. After all, you've probably heard that they're good for your heart, that they help you live longer, that they're packed with antioxidants, but for older adults, especially those over 60, grapes can quietly create the perfect storm for pain, stiffness, and even serious inflammation in the legs. Here's why. Grapes are loaded with something called fructose. That's a type of natural sugar. But your body doesn't use it the way it uses glucose. Instead, your liver processes it. And if there's too much, it turns into something called uric acid. Now, uric acid doesn't just float around harmlessly. It settles in your joints, your feet, your knees, your ankles. It creates swelling, burning, that sharp stabbing pain in your big toe when you lie down at night. That might not be just arthritis. It could be uric acid buildup. And it doesn't stop there. Fructose also triggers a low, smoldering kind of inflammation in your blood vessels, especially in your lower body. That means less blood flow, less oxygen, and more fatigue in your legs. The tricky part, grapes are bite-sized. They're sweet, soft, easy to chew, which makes it dangerously easy to overdo it, especially when you're not measuring how much you're really eating. Let's take Gloria, 69. She kept grapes in a little bowl by the fridge, calling them her guilt-free snack. But over time, she noticed more stiffness in her knees, and her ankles started aching when she stood up. Her doctor finally ran some labs, and her uric acid levels were high. The grapes, eaten daily and without portion control, were silently fueling her joint pain. So, what's a better choice? Try blueberries or raspberries. They're lower in sugar, higher in antioxidants, and far less likely to cause inflammation. And if you really want to enjoy grapes, cut them into quarters. Stick to 6 to 8 pieces, and always pair them with a protein or fat, like a small handful of walnuts, to slow down how that sugar hits your body. And one more tip, never snack straight from the bunch. Grab a small bowl, sit down, and enjoy it mindfully. Your legs will thank you, because if something as tiny as a grape can quietly stiffen your joints, imagine what happens with a fruit that floods your entire system with sugar in just seconds. Fruit 4. Watermelon, the false hydrator. There's something deeply nostalgic about watermelon. That crisp bite on a hot day, the sound of slicing into one on the kitchen counter, the sticky sweetness of summer. For many seniors, watermelon feels like comfort. It feels innocent. But here's the truth. Watermelon is one of the most misleading fruits for older adults. Because while it feels hydrating, it's actually working against your body in ways you may never suspect. Yes, watermelon is mostly water, but it also has an extremely high glycemic index. That means it spikes your blood sugar faster than most fruits, almost like drinking a sugary soda. What happens next? Your body scrambles to release insulin, but after 60, that process slows down. Sugar lingers longer in your bloodstream, causing inflammation, irritation of the nerves in your legs, and a wave of fatigue that can hit suddenly after meals. And that's not all. Watermelon contains potassium. Combined with its water content, it creates a burden on your kidneys. Especially if you're taking heart or blood pressure medications, your body may struggle to flush out the excess. The result? Fluid builds up. You retain water. Your ankles swell. Your feet feel tight inside your shoes. Your legs get heavier by the hour. In more serious cases, fluid can back up into your lungs, causing shortness of breath. This is exactly what happened to Betty, 78. Living in Arizona, she started eating watermelon daily during the hot summer months. She thought she was helping her body stay cool and hydrated, but within a few weeks, her ankles began to balloon. She felt tired and then short of breath. Her daughter rushed her to the ER, and doctors found signs of fluid overload caused by a mix of excess potassium and hidden sugars. The good news? You still have refreshing, summer-friendly options. Try infusing water with cucumber slices or mint. It hydrates you naturally, without sugar. Or freeze a handful of berries for a cooling treat that supports your circulation instead of draining it. If you truly enjoy watermelon, that's okay. Just respect the portion. Stick to no more than half a cup at a time. Always pair it with protein or healthy fat, like a few almonds or a small slice of cheese. And avoid eating it late in the day when your body is slower to process fluids. Because if watermelon, a fruit made of 90% water, can leave your legs swollen and aching, just imagine what acidic fruits might be doing to your joints, your digestion, and your comfort. Let's look closer. Fruit 5. Oranges, the acidic assault on joints and medications. There's something comforting about oranges, isn't there? For many older adults, it's part of the morning ritual. A cold glass of orange juice to start the day, maybe a few slices alongside breakfast. It feels healthy, familiar, even nostalgic. We grew up hearing things like, "An orange a day keeps the cold away," and for decades it probably felt like the right thing to do. But here's what no one told you. As we age, the same acids and sugars in oranges that once gave us energy can now quietly disrupt our digestion, irritate our joints, and even make certain medications less effective. Let's talk about what's happening. Oranges are loaded with citric acid. That's what gives them that tangy, zesty bite. But for seniors, that same acid can backfire, especially when the digestive system has slowed down. The muscle that keeps stomach acid in place weakens with age, so that splash of orange juice in the morning, it might come back to haunt you later, as burning in your throat at night or discomfort in your chest after lying down. Worse yet, that acid doesn't just affect your stomach. It can irritate joint tissue too, especially if you already live with arthritis, bursitis, or general stiffness in your hips and knees. And when it mixes with the sugar inside the fruit, it creates inflammation that flows throughout your body, not just in your joints, but in your gums, muscles, and even your circulatory system. But perhaps the most dangerous part? Oranges can interfere with over 50 of the most common medications taken by seniors. That includes blood pressure meds, cholesterol statins, and certain antidepressants. The acids and enzymes in oranges may block how your body absorbs these medications, or make them act too strongly. And that can leave you wondering, why isn't my blood pressure stable anymore? Why do I feel more pain even though I'm on medication? Sometimes the answer is hiding in your fruit bowl. Margaret, 73, had no idea. She drank orange juice with breakfast for years, but slowly her nighttime heartburn got worse. She noticed her blood pressure readings were more erratic, even though her prescriptions hadn't changed. Her doctor finally made the connection. Citrus and medication don't always mix, especially in older bodies. So what should you do? You still need vitamin C, but you don't need the acid. Red bell peppers are a fantastic alternative. In fact, they have more vitamin C than oranges and are completely acid-free. Another option, kiwi. It's gentle on the stomach, nutrient-rich, and gives you that citrus-like zing without the side effects. If you love your oranges, you don't have to cut them out completely. Just dilute orange juice with water, 1 part juice, 1 part water, and never drink it on an empty stomach. And be sure to keep at least 2 hours between your citrus intake and your medications, because if a bright, cheerful orange can quietly aggravate your joints and mute your medications, what might be hiding inside a green apple that bites back? Fruit 6. Green apples, a hidden source of leg pain and fatigue. Green apples look clean, crisp, healthy. They're often seen as the smart fruit, lower in sugar than their red cousins, less likely to spike blood sugar, and perfect for seniors trying to cut back on sweets. But here's what's hiding under that glossy green skin. Green apples contain a compound called malic acid. Now, malic acid sounds fancy, and in small amounts it's okay. But in aging digestive systems, especially when eaten raw or on an empty stomach, that acid can do more harm than good. It can irritate the lining of your stomach, trigger reflux, and even stir up inflammation in the joints, especially the hips and knees. Even more surprising, though they taste tart, green apples still contain natural sugars, and when you eat them raw, especially between meals, that sugar is absorbed quickly, causing a rise in blood sugar followed by a crash. For seniors, those fluctuations can lead to muscle fatigue, weak circulation, and a drop in oxygen reaching your legs. If you've ever eaten an apple thinking it would give you energy, only to feel achy or tired shortly after, this might be why. Let's take Evelyn, age 70. She switched to green apples as a healthy snack. But not long after, she began feeling strange stiffness in her hips in the mornings, then burning in the soles of her feet at night. She didn't connect the dots until her doctor suggested the acid and sugar in the apples might be silently adding to her inflammation. So here's what to do instead. Go for pears. They're soft, easy on digestion, and have a gentle sweetness that won't overload your system. Or if you love apples, try steaming them. Lightly cooked apples with cinnamon are easier on the gut and far less acidic. Just make sure you eat them after meals, not before. That helps your body process the sugar more slowly and avoid triggering discomfort. Because if apples, a fruit that's supposed to keep the doctor away, are leaving you sore, stiff, or drained, it might be time to rethink what's actually working for your body today. And if we've come this far, what happens when we take a look at the sweetest, most seductive fruit of them all? The one that can feel like dessert but act like poison to aging joints. Let's talk about mango next. Fruit 7, mango, the sugar bomb for your joints and nerves. Let's wrap up this list with a fruit that many people see as the ultimate treat, mango. Just the name brings up warm memories, doesn't it? A tropical getaway in a slice. Bright, juicy, smooth, it feels like dessert, something to savor on a warm evening or blend into your morning smoothie. It tastes so light, it's so natural, so good. But for seniors, mango may be hiding one of the biggest sugar traps of all. Here's the surprising truth. One medium mango contains around 45 grams of sugar. That's more than a can of soda. And while that might not sound alarming at first glance, remember this. As we age, our insulin response slows down. That means our bodies aren't able to pull sugar from the bloodstream as quickly as they used to. So what happens next? That sugar hangs around longer. It starts irritating nerves, inflaming joints. It fuels silent damage in the very tissues that keep us moving. And for anyone already living with pre-diabetes, diabetes, or early signs of neuropathy, mango can make things worse, faster than you might expect. If you've ever felt a burning sensation in your feet at night, or tingling in your toes after a sweet snack, or a strange stiffness in your legs after what should have been a light summer meal, mango might be playing a role. James, 74, thought he was doing himself a favor by switching from cake to fruit. Every evening he'd slice up a bowl of fresh mango. It became his healthy dessert. But over time he started noticing sharp tingling in his feet. His ankles felt swollen after dinner, and eventually he was diagnosed with early nerve damage, made worse by the daily glucose spikes that mango triggered. It's not that mango is bad for everyone, but for the aging body, the impact of sugar is very different. What once felt like a light, sweet reward can quietly overload the system. So what are your better options? Strawberries or blackberries are excellent. They're packed with flavor, lower in sugar, and rich in antioxidants that actually help fight inflammation. If you want something warm and comforting, try stewed apples with a pinch of cinnamon. It's sweet, satisfying, and far less stressful on your body. And if you really love mango, you don't have to give it up forever. Just eat a few slices, not a bowl, Always pair it with protein or fiber, like Greek yogurt or a sprinkle of chia seeds, and avoid eating it in the evening when your metabolism naturally slows down. Because the real issue isn't just the sugar, it's the timing, the portion, the way our body processes it now, not how it used to 30 years ago. So now that you've seen how 7 seemingly healthy fruits might be slowly chipping away at your strength, mobility, and independence, take a breath. This isn't about fear, and it's certainly not about giving up fruit forever. It's about learning how to eat in alignment with the body you have now, not the body you had in your 30s or 40s, because here's the truth. Fruit can still be your ally. There are fruits that heal, that protect your circulation, that help soothe inflammation, support your muscles, and bring energy back to your steps. The key is in the how, the when, and the what, and that's exactly what we'll explore next. Simple swaps, smart pairings, tasty options that feel just as good as they are for you. You don't have to sacrifice flavor. You don't have to feel restricted. You just have to get a little smarter and a lot more intentional. Let's discover the fruits that support your legs and your life from the inside out. Smart swaps, safe pairings, and senior-friendly eating strategies. Now that you've seen which fruits might be quietly slowing your steps, it's time to flip the script, because food doesn't have to be the enemy, not even fruit. In fact, with just a few smart changes, what you eat, how much, when, and what you pair it with, you can transform fruit from a hidden threat into a healing tool. Let's walk through this together. And remember, this is not about restriction. This is about creating comfort, strength, and balance with every bite. Foundational fruit swaps, healing versus harmful. Let's begin with the simplest shift of all, choosing fruits that work with your body, not against it. Here's a side-by-side way to think about it. If you used to eat the fruit on the left, try replacing it with the one on the right. If you used to eat pineapple, try dragon fruit or Asian pears instead. Why? They're gentler on the kidneys, lower in acid, and don't clash with common medications. If you relied on bananas, go for berries with plain yogurt or even half a baked sweet potato. These choices give you steady energy without spiking your blood sugar or overloading your potassium. Swap grapes for blueberries or blackberries. They have less fructose, which means less risk of joint flare-ups, and they're rich in antioxidants that protect aging blood vessels. Instead of watermelon, slice up some cucumbers and chill them in water, or enjoy frozen berries as a sweet and hydrating treat. You'll stay cool without triggering blood sugar crashes or fluid overload. Trade oranges for red bell peppers or kiwi. They deliver more vitamin C with less acid, which helps you feel energized, not inflamed. Replace green apples with ripe pears or cooked apples with cinnamon. They're softer, easier on the gut, and won't irritate your joints. And for mango lovers, try cherries or stewed berries instead. You'll get a sweet, nourishing flavor without the nerve-tingling sugar surge. The 3 pillars of smart senior fruit. Eating. Let's simplify this even further. You don't need a complicated food chart or a stack of nutrition books. Just remember these 3 pillars and use them every time you reach for fruit. First, portion wisely. What used to be a snack at 30 might now be a sugar spike at 70. It's not about never, it's about not too much. A safe amount? Think half a banana, 6 grapes, half a cup of watermelon. That's usually enough for flavor without the fallout. Use a small bowl, pre-portion your fruit. Avoid eating straight from the container. That's when sneaky overload happens. Next, pair it with power. Fruit on its own is fast. It hits your system quickly. But when you combine it with a healthy fat or protein, you slow everything down, in a good way. Try blueberries with cottage cheese, pear slices with almond butter, stewed apples with walnuts. You'll feel fuller, stay steadier, and protect your energy longer. Finally, time it smartly. The best time to eat fruit is late morning or after a full meal. That's when your digestive system is ready. The worst time, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, or late at night when your body is winding down. Those are the moments when fruit sugar is most likely to cause crashes, swelling, or sleep disruption. And always avoid pairing fruit with medication unless your doctor has advised otherwise. Preparation tips for aging digestion. Let's make the fruit you do eat even easier to enjoy. Try lightly stewing acidic fruits like apples and pears with cinnamon. It warms the body, calms the gut, and softens the acid load. Chill grapes or berries before eating. Cold fruit is naturally more satisfying and helps prevent oversnacking. Use fruit as a garnish, not the main course. Add a handful to your oatmeal, sprinkle it on a salad, or blend it into a fiber-rich smoothie with protein. But skip the fruit-only juice bombs. They act more like candy than nourishment. And most importantly, listen to how your body responds. Every bite is information. Closing insight. At this stage of life, food isn't just fuel. It's medicine, it's memory, it's mood, it's mobility. And the truth is, every bite either helps you move easier or makes movement harder. You've just learned how to choose the fruits that support your muscles, soothe your joints, and protect your independence, all while still bringing joy to your meals. You don't have to settle for less. You just have to eat smarter. Now, let's build on this, because you've come so far, and your strongest years might just be ahead. The hidden truth about healthy foods and how to rethink nutrition. After 60, let's take a moment and breathe, because by now you've learned a lot, and maybe you're feeling a little shocked, even overwhelmed. You've spent your whole life believing that fruit is healthy, that nature never lies, that if something grows on a tree, it must be good for you, right? But what if the story is more complicated than that? What if the very foods you've trusted are no longer serving the body you're living in today? You're not alone, and you haven't done anything wrong. This part of the journey is not about guilt, it's about awareness. And finally, peace of mind. Let's reframe everything together. Oh, why natural doesn't always mean good. We've been taught that natural equals healthy. But the truth is, nature is powerful, and power can heal or harm, depending on how it's used. Honey is natural, so is mango. But both are packed with sugar that spikes your blood and leaves your legs aching later. Poison ivy is natural, so is snake venom. That doesn't mean they're good for your system. Even water, something essential to life, can hurt you if taken in excess or at the wrong time. So when it comes to fruit, the question isn't, is it natural? It's, is it the right choice for the body I have right now? That one question can shift everything, because not all natural foods belong on your plate in every chapter of life. How the senior body sees food differently. The truth is, your body now is not your body at 30. It's wiser, it's more sensitive, and yes, it requires a little more care. Your kidneys aren't filtering potassium like they used to, so fruits like bananas and watermelon, they can build up inside you, slowly weighing you down. Your insulin response is slower, which means sugary fruits like mango and grapes hit harder and last longer, leading to energy crashes, nerve pain, and inflammation that sticks. Your digestion is gentler, so acids from citrus or raw tart fruits like green apples can irritate your stomach lining or inflame your joints. And let's not forget medications. When fruit enzymes or compounds interfere, even the best pill can't do its job right. And that can be scary. You didn't fail. You just didn't know. You don't need to fear food, you just need to know it better. Here's the best part. You're not starting from scratch. You're just refining. This isn't a diet, it's a gentle shift. It's wisdom in motion. You don't have to fear fruit. You don't have to eliminate joy from your meals. You just have to choose joy that supports you. Joy that makes you stronger after you eat, not slower. That might look like warming your apples with cinnamon instead of biting into them raw. It might mean savoring 6 blueberries with almonds instead of finishing a full mango. Small swaps. Big difference. This is the power of eating with awareness, with maturity, with self-respect. And if no one ever told you this before now, you're hearing it today. From someone who sees you, respects you, and believes your best years still hold room for strength, clarity, and delicious moments. So let's bring all of this home. Because aging is not the end of strength, it's the beginning of wisdom. And now, you're eating with wisdom. Now before you go, I have one final request. If you've ever experienced leg pain, swelling, fatigue after meals, if you felt like your energy was slipping or your balance wasn't what it used to be, share your story below. Someone else might read your comment and for the first time, feel understood, feel less alone, feel hope. Let's support each other. Let's walk this journey together. You're not too old, you're not too late, you're just getting wiser and stronger with every step.